before we start talking about shooting feral horses and the barbaric way it's likely to be done, shouldn't we be verifying rather than guessing how many there are in the Kosciuszko National Park? Where do these numbers come from, which from all my reading are described as the best estimate, currently over 18,800 wild horses? What do you make of that?
Alan, there is no science involved in this. The science has been corrupted by the political agenda. There's no question about that. And the numbers are fabricated to suit that political agenda. This is a philosophical thing that the National Parks and Wildlife Service and the Minister, the left wing of the Labor Party, are following. It's all to do with the colonisation of Australia and the image that we presented to the world at the opening of the Olympics in 2000. This is the image of the man from the Snowy River, that cultural history which we're proud of and the mountain people are proud of. It's about the light horse. It's about these other issues which surround the cultural history of Australia. And so there is no science in this at all which has been verified. The science has all been questioned. It's been fabricated by the agenda of the National Parks and Wildlife Service. And you are quite correct. They'd be a damn sight better off looking after the feral animals which are damaging the park, the likes of the dogs, the deer, pigs, and the foxes and all these other things that are destroying the national park, not to mention two extensive fires, one in 2003 and the other one in 2020, which absolutely destroyed the mountain ash and a lot of the very precious vegetation in the mountains. But Alan, these people are corrupting the process of good management.
Yes, I mean, destroyed, let me just add to Peter's comment, destroyed the national parks simply because they were created and there was no proper management. You couldn't get in to even look after them and service them. So, of course, you can't have a fire without fuel, and the fuel was on the floor and away it went. You see, every time I look at these numbers, they somehow increase. I mean, we're now told that the 18,800 is a 30% increase from the 14,380 counted in 2020. Who counted them, Peter, and how did they count them?
Well, the methodology they've used, which is known as the Cairns method, has been questioned by other statisticians, people who do this for a living, and it's quite evident that the statistics that have been gathered are gathered to meet an agenda. And what's happened that they've done a count of the horses that are there and extrapolated the numbers they've seen to extend right across the national park. Well, the fact is that the horses occupy less than 15% of the Kosciuszko National Park, and if you extrapolate the numbers you see in that area, yes, you'd come up with 20,000 or 30,000, but that's not the case. The horses only occupy a very small section of the horse, predominantly around areas which was grazed for 160 years, where there's power lines, 330 kV power lines, not to mention the Kiandra goldfields that operated in the 1870s, extensive excavations, and, this is the sort of thing that where the horses are roaming.
See, this bloke knows what he's talking about. Yeah, you know what you're talking about. That's a very valid point you've made. So the horses occupy 15% of the national park. So basically what Peter's saying is, if there are this number of horses in 15% of the park, how many horses must there be in 100% of the park? And you'll come up with 18,000, 20,000, 25,000. I mean, so there is no basis for saying, is there, that the numbers in Kosciuszko are, quote, rising steadily, and hence we need this so-called aerial culling.